For generations, owning a home has been a cornerstone of the American dream, but for millions of younger Americans, even the down payment is now slipping out of reach. A new report found HUD spent nearly $500 billion trying to make housing more affordable, but home prices still outrun incomes in every single state. Joining us now to follow the money is Rachel O'Brien, Deputy Public Policy Editor for OpenTheBooks.com. Good morning to you, Rachel.
Good morning, Jan.
All right, let's start with the big picture here. Home prices outpaced household incomes in all 50 states, and in 48 of them, the gap was in the double digits. So how far out of reach has home ownership become, and which states are being hit the hardest?
Yeah, it's bad everywhere. So we looked at a decade worth of data comparing the change in median household income to the home prices. So in all 50 states, like you said, the average home price grew faster than the median income between 2015 and 2024. So that difference in that change we call the affordability gap. So the nationwide average was 43 points. And the states we found with the highest affordability gaps are geographically diverse and in many cases ideologically moderate or conservative. The top ones were Idaho, Florida, Utah, Tennessee, and Arizona, which is surprising, right? These are, or maybe not surprising, these are the low tax, lower density states that made headlines during the pandemic from massive influxes of Americans, people leaving big cities, going to those states during the pandemic. So, incomes have not kept up with housing prices. Idaho, their affordability gap, they're 83 points. Their housing prices have risen over 150% in the last 10 years.
I think we have something to show that on the screen. If we can pull that up. 1 second. We can pull that up.
77-point gap there between income and housing prices. Louisiana, West Virginia, they're the least severe affordability gap. There's a 7-point and 10-point difference in those states. So as you mentioned, the other 48 states have double-digit affordability gaps, just make it really difficult.
And Rachel, let's follow the taxpayer dollars to hear how about it. California and New York got the most money from HUD. So where did all that money go, and why did it fail to move the needle?
Yeah, so HUD spent about $460 billion over this period that we looked at from 2015 to 2024. They spent it on 18 different programs. So it's everything from housing affordability, availability of actual housing, rent control, homelessness. So most states got less than $10 billion over the decade. California, like you mentioned, they received the most, more than $80 billion in California. New York, almost $54 billion. And it's simply that, incomes have not kept up with the large increases in the housing market.
Yeah, and this might be the most staggering statistic in every state except Alaska. A 20% down payment on the average home now exceeds an entire year of median household income before taxes. So if more federal spending is not the answer, what should the government do at the federal, state, and local levels to cut construction costs, open up housing supply, and really put that American dream back within reach?
Yeah, so, that down payment, a 20% down payment is almost unheard of now, right? I certainly didn't put 20% down, my husband and I, when we bought our house. It's incredibly unrealistic. So we're looking at the 10 costliest states. That down payment would take between 186% and 250% of your household income. So obviously you can't do that. Maine is the worst. California is the second, or very high up there, 190% of your income you would need for a 20% down payment. The math we did in California, if you save 10% of your pre-tax income, it would still take 19 years to save a down payment for an average home in California. So, right, government spending is not the answer. In fact, this HUD spending is part of the gigantic inflationary spending problem that jacks up the cost of everything. You spoke about the national debt increasing a few minutes ago. It's problematic all around. So getting inflationary spending in control does help the market, and the government should focus on ways, like you mentioned, every level of government, city, state, and federal, to clear the path toward cost-effective construction so that new houses are not as costly and people can afford to buy them.
All right. Deputy Public Policy Editor for OpenTheBooks.com, Rachel O'Brien. Always good to talk to you on a Friday. Hope you have a great weekend.
You too, Jan.
Thank you.